Hello, welcome back to my cake kitchen. I am Gladys, and over here I make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate cake decorating easily. If it's your first time, welcome back to my cake kitchen. I am Gladys. My secondary screen. If it's the first time you see me, hello again and welcome. And if we've been mates here already, thank you for your time today. We're just jumping straight into what we're doing today, which is making a teacup cake. A teacup, tea mug. We're making a teacup shaped cake. Now the teacup cake can actually be a theme where the subject of tea or a teacup is created as part of a cake. That's not what we're doing. We're going to be carving this rather monstrosity here into a teacup decorated nicely. Most of the time these are made from scrap cakes. Thankfully this was selected by a lovely friend of the channel, Teacup, whose mum loves high tea. Okay, so she selected this, and I had some scrap cakes to dispose of, so we thought we'll put that to work. So even though this doesn't look like what we are going for, stick with us for the entirety of the tutorial, and perhaps we might be able to miraculously transform this from this monstrosity you see here into a teacup. Now when I'm doing this, we have no photos. We just aim to kind of put a concept that is mental for me into something that is actualized into tangible form. So basically we're making a teacup cake. If you're here with us, we hope you enjoy what we're doing today, and hopefully learn some new tips and tricks, because this is a raw moment of taking you through from the start of the process to the end of it. It is going to be broken in different parts. So today we're basically going to focus on carving this. The filling of this cake was made as part of yesterday's video, which is a live that is already up. We were talking about cakes and how creaming processes affect the outcome of a cake. Very surprising and fascinating outcomes for that. You want to check that out. We're here from Tuesday through to Thursday on the lives. Exciting times where we hand you in-depth, tangible, and sometimes tested recipes, and also relatable cake decorating processes, so that it can inspire your confidence in your own kitchen. So join us even if you're passing by, and if you're watching us on replay, do engage with the content, like the video, perhaps leave a comment, ask a question, and I'll be sure to be back here answering that. Whilst we jump into the tutorial, I will say we have some very efficient and helpful interactive moderators here. Teacup, good morning. You would see they are highlighted in the blue highlights in the chat. They'll keep you engaged. If you have questions, put it in the chat, and when I stop, sometimes these tutorials tend to be very task focused and I am less engaged in the chat when that happens, but trust me, I do go back and try to catch up, and then we allocate a time where we sit down and then talk through some of the things that require my attention. So if you're saying hello to me or talking to me and it seems like you have no answer, I am so sorry. That is not my fault at all. I aim to interact with you, but unfortunately we're a cake making channel, and sometimes the tutorials do require my absolute attention, which makes it slightly difficult to kind of split my attention between what I'm doing here and also catching up with you, which is why I will leave you to the helpful hands of Teacup and the rest of the people in the chat. There's Isabella Blank. Thank you. Hi there, joining us. Is it your first time here? There are 16 people in the chat. Kindly be reminded to like the video. I don't really bang on about that, but I have to make an effort of asking for it because it is important. It shows some form of interaction and informs YouTube that you have been here. So do like the video. If you wonder where that is, on the screen from where you're watching, whether you're watching on the phone, you're watching, I am looking at myself on a secondary screen. So if it's a phone you're watching on, which is most likely what you might be doing, on the screen on your right of the screen, there's 3 dots there. If you tap on the dots, it should give you a drop down menu which has a thumbs up button over there. Do just give us a like over there, and also if you want to join us over here as a community, you're so welcome. Even though we're a cake making channel, we don't just make cakes, okay? If you hang out a little bit with us, you'll find that we catch up with each other. We are interested about each other's lives. We're not really stalkerish. Let me just make that clear. But we just desire the connection and helpfulness of each person in the group. And you'll find that when you're not here but you are a very known member in the group, we ask after you. And we hope you appreciate the thought and the kindness, because even though we are kind of separated by a screen over here, I rely on your support and attention, and I guess you rely on the value that I bring you. So besides the transaction, we all desire human connection of some form, and I hope I can be able to bring that, even though our aim here today is very subject centered, which is on the subject of cakes, which I absolutely love. Have I told you that today? Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking and we're gonna jump straight into the tutorial, where I am going to be carving this monstrosity into a teacup. I don't know how this is going to kind of go. So for the tools, basically, you will need a kitchen knife. Probably because this cake is chilled solid over here. It's not a frozen cake, but it is chilled. So a good tip here is to get yourself a sharp kitchen knife. Mine is small here just to give me a bit of control. You might want to consider that. But another thing you want to do is get a jar or a tall glass of some sort. Obviously it should be able to hold hot water, because some glasses, when you put hot water in it, it will break. And the hot water is just to warm the knife's blade. That will make it easy for the carving of this cake. As always, for most of these carved cakes, I will say carve it with a little bit of caution. Do not be in a rush. If you're home by yourself, of course, I am here trying to talk to you. But if you're home by yourself and you're trying to do this, a good tip is to consider putting on a podcast, zone in, and try carving this a little at a time. A little bit does the job, because you can't put the excess back if you cut a little bit too much. So always advisable to cut a little small at a time, small, whilst getting into the shape of the item you desire to carve down. We have the bottom two layers being 6-inch cakes, and then we have the top. The one I'm carving is a 5-inch, and that is because for the mug I am going for, it is likely, if you think about a mug or a teacup of any sort, it is likely to be, this is a solid mug, and you can see mugs and cups come in all shapes and sizes. This is fairly straight and more cylindrical, if you like, whereas this has a curve to the bottom. But if you look at these two, the curves are slightly different. But if I get in there and see if I can get my teacup, if we're talking teacups and a saucer, let me just see if I can get the saucer. Yeah, this is a teacup and saucer that I have. As you can see, the cup is still similar to one of these, except this is shorter and these are taller, and then you have the saucer in there. So essentially I am going for something similar. Of course, because it's in cake form, it is fairly going to be an interpretation of the item. So are we going for an exact teacup? Not necessarily, but something that when you land on it, you will know this is a teacup. But to make it worthwhile, obviously, the size of the cake is a little bit bigger. Hi there, Dolly. Dolly is back in the chat. Dolly, how are you and how is work? The cake is obviously filled with buttercream over here, and part of it is going to be covered in ganache. When you are carving a cake, you just want to make sure that the cake is set properly and the sizing of the cake is accurate. So that is what I am doing today. It might just seem like it's nothing, but believe me, it's just the small little cuts and trim that will eventually add to taking the shape. I am not going to do away with the carved bits just yet, because until I have achieved the desired shape of what I am going for. I am not going to throw away anything just yet, because I might just need to use them to refill some of the aspects of the carved cake, because this cake just looks a little bit used up, isn't it? But at the moment I am just trying to carve the sides of it a little bit, just so that I can get some sort of form to it. And that is what you do when you're carving a cake. If you want to see some of my other carved cakes which I have created on the channel, from the burger cake to the flower pot cake, these are all lives, and because the lives are unedited, you are invited into the raw processes of making cakes like that, which gives you a clear insight into how to achieve better results with something like this. Tapeta, you said you're blown away by the fact that when this is done, it will look like a cup. Is that not the work of a magician? You see, we do magic here in cake form. Okay, it will, because that's the job I signed up for. It's going to be a massive kind of, I'm now thinking, is this even necessary? But anyway, let me just, is the top even, because it just makes the cup a little bigger than I really want it. But you never know. You want to have more than less, because what do you do with less? And when you're carving, you trim a little bit. Tapeta, not to worry. You know, you and I are stuck here now for life. So by the time you decide that, I'm done with this group, you would have been a fairy yourself. So don't worry. And by the way, I did receive your email, darling. Thank you. I will be in touch. Let me not overpromise that bit. Because my morning starts, right? I've been up since 7:30. And every hour of my morning, I've been doing something productive. And it's been cake related. And some days the day is over and I'm like, where did the day go? I have still more things to do, like the mess in my house that I need to clear up, like some admin stuff that needs doing, and the day is gone. And I'm like, can I just come back and have my day again? I'm looking at the cake and thinking, can I just... Okay, so perhaps I know what I'm going to do. I know it doesn't look like a cup right now, but just stay the course and have faith. I think I would be questioning me too. Why, Isabella, are you all right? Isabella, you want to get some subscribers. You do realize we are not a subscriber farm over here. We would like to support you, but you've got to give us something, don't you think? You've got to give us value. So what is the value you have on your channel that people should come and watch you and subscribe to you? Because if you're just wanting subscribers for wanting sake, you and I know it's not going to happen, because that's not how YouTube works, Isabella. And I know it probably isn't what you want to hear, right? But if you're sad about not having subscribers, that is fine. You can be sad about it and choose to do something about that. How long have you been on YouTube, Isabella? Dolly, are you asking me a question about what design I am making? Dolly, Are you asking me? 2 years. Isabella, what is your channel about? Right. I just realized that the teacup was just going to be too tall, and I don't fancy it being tall. So you can see I've just split the cake over there a little bit. But what I'm going to do is, for this cake, I am just going to mix it with some ganache and use it as filler for the surface. Dolly, it's a tea mug, as in a teacup. I am making a teacup shaped cake, okay? And that's because Star Petter's mom chose that. We were supposed to make, the initial idea is a teapot and cup and everything. But because I also want the tutorial to be very achievable for anyone, the teapot with the cups and saucers and everything is an advanced task. And realistically, I try to make this tutorials very beginner friendly. So I thought, instead of just making the whole thing, which will be unattainable, I might as well just create just the teacup, and then we decorate the teacup nicely. That should be fulfilling the task, and also making it easier too for everyone to be able to sort of attempt it, especially for beginners, right? So if you're watching me, this part of the process is extremely boring because it's all about shapes and proportions, and I have to meticulously do this so that we can achieve the thing we are going for. So if I look a little bit boring here, don't worry, we'll get to it, Dolly. I know. Thank you for being here. How is work today? Isabella, we're talking about you and being on YouTube. You've been here for 2 years, but what exactly do you do on your channel? Can you tell us a bit about your channel? Right. I'm going to put some gloves on so that I can create some filler cake here. The filler cake is actually useful for most of the time. If you're wondering what this is a bit of the cake, and all I'm doing is mashing it with my hands. And what I am doing is, we call it cake pop mixed. Before I do anything, I'm gonna just clear my work surface a little bit. I am a little bit wary about trying to clear this bit completely because I don't know if I might need it. And next, what I'm going to do is mix my cake pop mix with a bit of ganache here, and that just gives me a consistency. If you don't know what cake pop mix is, it's just cake that is either mixed with buttercream or ganache that you can work with, and then it makes it pliable. And by pliable, I can use that to fill into the surface of the cake. Of course, I am only applying this method to fill the surface of the cake. Why? Because I'm creating this object from cake pop mix, so I only have the cake that I have to work with. But if I was making this cake for a customer, this will be carved from a baked cake, which means the sizing will be a little larger, and I wouldn't have to fill the spaces with this. But cake pop mix is great in cake carving because it helps you develop a nice form to the front surface of the cake you are carving, and to help you gain form and proportion. Because without it, I would have a wonky looking cake. So all I'm doing is filling the surface up so that it doesn't show through. So it's not so much about putting it on the surface, it's about filling the gap that is created from the unevenness of the cake. I mean, if you're working with scrap cake, you have to improvise a few things. But now that that is done, let's go back to carving. And I have to be very careful when carving the scrap, the cake pop mix side. But there you go. I mean, by using the ganache also, you are setting the form to set hard, which means it will keep even when you come to Shorty. Thank you. Shorty in the group says it looks good. Do you know what this is, Shorty? So you can see that this is all filled up. It's probably best, like best recommendation, that if you're creating a carved cake, make sure you carve the entire form from a solid cake, because then you can guarantee its structure. This work is a lot of it requires just a lot of patience, almost like treating it like this is going to take you some time. So get used to the discomfort of just boringly carving things and looking around and repeating your tasks. But in my, do you have some mathematical skills in baking too? Caroline is asking, do you have to have some mathematical skill in baking? Well, I don't suppose precision and ability to measure ingredients correctly is it's any more mathematical than it is one's ability to focus and execute and follow small instructions. So not necessarily. You don't really have to be, kind of a technical question. You don't really have to have any mathematical skill, just one's ability to be extremely precise, because baking is precision cooking. Now, once you gain your experience and you grow in the process, the level of precision is only enhanced by your own ability and skill and experience. Because whilst for most beginner bakers, I would still recommend that you are extremely diligent with your measurements and processes, because you skip any, especially when you're a beginner, you will pay for it. It will catch you up somewhere. But when you become a pro, sometimes you know what you are looking for. So much of what you would have been caught up with in the beginning becomes a case of experience, of observing and visual cues for you. But being able to measure ingredients accurately do not require having to derive formula. It's done for you. The recipes are already written out with instructions to follow, so you don't really have to be any maths inclined to be able to do that. It does require focus though, because the tasks are extremely repetitive. Like baking is such a repetitive. The number of times I stand here doing the same thing over and over and over and almost repeating the same phrases and sentences is extremely boring. And I would understand if you're bored out of your brain and you'd be like, look, I'm not learning anything new, right? So besides that, I don't think you have to. Look, I have no mass bone in my body, okay? I don't. And I'm here. Do you have to be science inclined? Not necessarily either. So you don't, Caroline, darling. You could never do fraction with a paper or a math word. Yep, it becomes muscle memory after a while because much of it is very, very repetitive. And especially in this day and age where information is readily available, if you want to scale a recipe, which might probably require a little bit of science knowledge, maths knowledge, the recipes are scaled for you, or you can just find it online. You can ask a question. These days, information is readily available that you can find easily, and it's more accessible. So no, I think that's the simple answer. Well, probably I say that by also reminding myself that the only cake we made that had a mass to it was the football cake. But even so, whilst I knew that it was important to understand the maths, I was able to explain it without making myself look like I knew maths, right? Because I didn't. I just knew that you needed to understand the maths to be able to make the proportions of a football cake right. So no, I think that will be the simple answer. You don't need to be a mathematician, and you don't have to be maths inclined. But perhaps if you do have it, it might help when you're looking at recipes, because then recipes are derived from a mathematical formula though. The proportions and ratios of ingredients are maths based, but most recipes you won't have to develop them yourself. They are already done for you. So the maths part is almost taken care of. But perhaps if you were a mathematician or knew a bit about maths, you'll be able to look closely at a recipe and be able to tell the proportion of ingredients. Thereby, if you had issues arising, you'd be able to kind of break it down from that. But that's only a small aspect, so not necessarily. Erica from, I will make a mess of it, Erica from Kansas, is that correct? Good morning. Yes, it's been a while. It's been a while. I think one of these days we were like, where are you people? See? Got you. Right. Now we need Laura in the group, and then my heart will be at peace, because Laura, our friend, hasn't been here for a little while, and we've been asking after Laura the accountant. But you know what? We know people who come here join us and their life happens. So if life is lifing, we are sending Erica our thoughts. How are you, Erica? Our friend Isabella is back. She's our new friend in the group. Isabella, before you left, I was asking you, what does your YouTube channel do? Are you a cooking channel? Are you a baking channel? What do you do over there? Okay, so I think even though this does not look like anything you know yet, believe me when I say we are getting to where I want this to go. So right, I'm getting myself a, if you don't know what that is, we are carving this into a teacup. And as you can see, it's going to be a rounded bottom teacup. There you go. If the bottom was a little more solid, I'll flip it, but I can't do that right now. So imagine if we flip this, we would have a solid teacup, but we are not there yet. So just move this out of the way, that out of the way. And now let's clean our workspace. It's always important, I would say, that when you're working on a cake, you keep your surfaces tidy. It helps with workflow, keeps your mind also clear, because a cluttered brain is no good for an organized task, okay? And I'm just wiping this over. Right, we've got that out of the way. Right, does that look like a shaped, well, if I ask, does that look like a shaped cup, and you say no, you're not wrong, because it doesn't look like anything, does it? But there we have it. If I had flipped this over and I told you to imagine this with a handle, I think you would see a cup. But see where we've come from. I'm still not sure about the size and proportions here. I'm just right, so I am just going to carve the bits, because there's like bulky bits over here, because it has to just be seamless when you get in here. Okay, you want to be extremely careful when carving a cake. Never get carried away and carve more than you need to, because once you take it off, you can't put it back. It's either going to lead to having to size down, or almost like refocus your attention to something that would lead to having to correct the mistake that you have made. So even though I kind of feel like, can I do check? No, I'll just leave it as that, at least for now, because I can always trim down at any point of the process, rather than doing anything that will make me lose more cake. Plus, because this is scrap cake, I do not have more in excess to lose. So let's see. Okay. I am just applying some ganache to seal in the crumbs so that this can set. As always, when making carved cake, make sure that the medium of covering is only thin, so that you can maintain the exact form of what you are carving. Because the more buttercream or ganache I add to this cake, the more likely it will deform when it's set at room temperature. So to keep the form of a cup, I just need to make sure that my buttercream or ganache is just served as a coating for filling out the surface and evening it out. But what I'm doing here is just crumb coating. I'm crumb coating this cake here just to seal in the crumbs I have created, and also to seal in never mind the consistency of my ganache. See why I always advise that you pay attention to what you're doing. I better stick to my own advice, because you know why the ganache is a little bit sloppy? Because I put the ganache in the microwave to kind of bring it to room temperature and forgot about it. I didn't actually. I was distracted by another task, and yeah, that nearly went to the, yeah, there you go. It's okay, we will still make it work. It's sloppy, but does it look like it's coming to a cake? It's coming to a cup. If you can see a cup, leave a hands up in the if you can see a cup, leave a hands up in the chat. I am actually looking for a scraper. Where is our corky tail, people? Can you tell? Okay, there you have it. Oh, okay, you can see, I can see so many hands. All right, thank you. You guys are kind. It looks like a sloppy red or something. Right, there you go. Okay. Prawn hasn't been here this morning. Yeah, Prawn emailed me to say she has some work to sort out and that she'll be running in a bit late. Is Prawn here? Prawn corky tail. And Lollipop isn't here this morning. Where is Dolly? Oh, Dolly. Oh, okay. Oh, Dolly came for a lunch break. Okay. Lollipop isn't here either. Okay. Isabel. Oh, okay. Isabel. That's nice. Do come and visit us, darling. It's lovely to have you. Right. We are a very helpful bunch here. And even though we just make cakes, we interact, and as you can see, hopefully you are having fun and enjoying good company over there as well. Our lovely Tapita will look after you over there, okay? Oh, Isabel, we are real people, you know. We know each other. We email each other and we catch up, and that is just completely. And by the way, Tapita, I am told you guys have gone and formed yourself a Discord group. I have no idea what that is. Corkytail emailed me. I saw the email whilst prepping to come here. So we haven't talked about, but Tapita, do you want to fill us in on what the Discord is about? Because I have no idea, but I know it's going to be fun. I've been asked to kind of choose my name and identity. I think I'm going to go for Captain Cake, isn't it? Captain Cake, the cake auntie. Oh, Lord. Oh, a digestive biscuit. Who doesn't know a digestive biscuit? Who is asking about a digestive biscuit? I mean, some days I am very... Oh, a chocolate digest... Danigella. Right. For those of you who are just joining us, if you're just... There's 43 people in the chat. Who are you, these people? No, I'm asking because it's like... Some days I'm flattered. Like, when I come here, I know I'm crazy about cakes, but you don't have to love cakes. I'm just grateful that all of you are here. So all 43 of you who are just joining us, by the way, welcome. I am Gladys. If I haven't told you lately, I love cakes. I am crazy about cakes, okay? I am obsessed about cakes. If I'm not decorating them, I am baking them. I am researching about them. I am talking about them. I am writing about them. I'm creating content about them. My head, if you split my head into two, cake takes both parts, okay? That's just by the way. But today we are making a different kind of cake that probably doesn't look like the cake we are going for. So for those of you who are just joining us, can you take a guess what cake is in front of me over here? Okay, what is over here? Just take a guess. Not the ones who already know what we are doing, okay? Because the descriptions, the description says butter we're making, but no, that's the default description. I will optimize it after the tutorials. But can you take a guess? Can you tell us what you think you're looking at? Okay, I just had to go and give my scraper a little wash. Isabella, where are you joining us from? Are you in the UK? I am just a little curious because I'm just like, don't you go to McDonald's? Oh, lollipop, we were just asking after you, honey. We were like, when Erica came, we're like, okay, Prawn has told me she has some work to do. So she's going to be here, but a little later. But even so, it depends. Oh, Oregon. Oh, Tapeta. You have your neighbor in the group? Isabella, I'm saying you're Tapeta's neighbor because Tapeta is in Oregon as well. Yeah, Tapeta is in Oregon. Okay, before Tapeta, hold up. Isabella. Oh, Danny is from Croatia. Oh, is Prawn here? Because prawn cocktail. By the way, if you're just joining us, you know what? I try to stay interacting, but if you've been here, you would know that when we are making a proper cake and we are stuck in the tutorial, it can be hard to kind of interact. So forgive me, but my very helpful associates and moderators in the chat will keep you engaged. So if you're just joining us, I see there's 44 of you in the chat. Hello there, welcome. If you haven't subscribed, do consider subscribing because we love cake. We make cakes. We don't just make cakes and talk cakes. We try to engage, interact. We talk about life sometimes, okay? Even though we are cake subject centered, there's a lot about cake and business that can actually enhance one's world and bring you value. So we try to do all of that. We try to do all of that. So with that in mind, if you're just passing by, do consider stopping with us, okay? We just found out there are neighbors in the chat. Isabella and Tapeta are neighbors, and they might probably stop and go for a walk with each other. Thank you. Okay, thank me for bringing you two together. But that aside, we are making a teacup cake. And if you wonder what this is, this was carved from a monstrosity of cake that look like nothing. And if you wonder what our ability is, we've made some cakes that have looked like nothing that turned into something, like this burger here that is getting rotten. I need to chuck it, but I can't let go of my cakes. This is a cake and that is a cake. Okay, it's a cake. I make random stuff, okay? And this right here, this flower you see right here is a cake too. So we take our rubbish cake, I call it scrap cake, and then we flip it up and then we upcycle them and then we make some great looking stuff from it. So this is going to be a teacup cake. And for a teacup, I guess if you look at the cup, you can tell, but we are going for a little more, something a little more fancy. Other than just the cup, we're going to create a sort of mug about it, as in a proper tea cup with a saucer kind of cake. But because it's cake form, we have to make it representative of some kind. So the sizing is going to be a little larger than your regular teacup, because if we made it into a small thing, it really wouldn't hold, would it? So we're making that, and then it's going to sit on a nice saucer, and then we're going to try and decorate it. So that's what we're going for, and that's where we are headed. We've carved it, we've crumb coated it. We need to leave this to chill completely, and I mean chill completely. And then we can come and then polish the form out before we continue. So I guess that would be tomorrow when we can sort of finish polishing the bits out, and then drape this in fondant, and then we can create the handle and the saucer all out of fondant work. But for what is required today, we've carved the cake, we've filled the sides. And if you don't know what this cake looks like, when we started, go to the start of the live and you would see that this was some piled up unshapely looking cake, and now we are here. So we are moving forward, but for now this is where we stop. We're not finished with the live, but we're finished with the task of the cake decorating. We're going to put that in a fridge to set completely, and then we'll be back tomorrow working on this. For now, in the meantime, if you have any further questions to ask me, I mean, our friend I have something stuck in my throat, bear with me. Our friend a friend in the group was asking if you need maths to learn about cake making, and I said no. So if you have any questions to ask me, whether it's cake related or any other thing that you might want some answers for, leave them in the chat whilst I clear my work surface, and I'll come back and then we'll interact a bit more. Okay, look at you people, those of you who are neighbors, Takata and Isabella. Does Isabella and Tapeta live close by each other? I am just curious to see how the connection works. Right, whilst we're at it, I'm probably going to make myself a cup of tea right now. Lollipop, how are you, my dear? Is prawn in the chat? Prawn cocktail. I'm asking after a moderator. Prawn. Oh, prawn, you made it. Okay, prawn, welcome. You made it. I did say you'd email to say you may be running a bit late. So anyway, our cake is Caroline. Oh, Caroline, I am jealous of you and the beaches and the babies and the fun you are having. Right, people. Now, if you don't have any further questions for me for now, okay, you are 2.5 hours away from each other. That's quite a way. So you are not neighbors at all, but you live in the same state of Oregon. Is Oregon a state? I suppose. Some of these questions have been asking are so dumb. It's like, oh, Danny. Danny, thank you. Danny from Croatia. Thank you. Right. I'll be back. I'm just gonna go. Okay. Isabella is gonna go check on the weather, what it is like outside, and she'll be back. Okay, Isabella. All right, people. Now, let's talk Oh, okay, Shorty, thanks for saving me out here, okay? It's Oregon State. Yes, it is, okay? It's like, it's buffalo wings. Is that a buffalo? No, I'm kidding. I know they are not buffalo. Okay. Okay, people. Oh, okay. Tabitha out here talking about Oregon, like okay, it was founded in 1859, February 14th. So looks like Oregon, instead of somebody celebrating Valentine's Day, they were busy founding Oregon. Can you imagine how special Oregon has to be for anyone to give up Valentine's Day? Or were they lonely? Did they not have love? Anyway, let's not worry about that too much, people. I'm making myself a cup of tea. Those of you who like a tea, okay. So I'm not the only one who, no, actually, I've never thought buffalo wings were buffalo, but I tell. Okay, people, tell me the strangest or funniest thing that you grew up and the light bulb went and it's like, oh, I thought wrong. I'll go first. I'll go first. If you're a particular age and you listen to a particular type of music, you would have heard this song, Maxine. It's by, is it his name? Kind of, it's okay, so it's a reggae type of music. And if I played it on here, I would have a copyright strike. And I can't sing. That's not my ministry. But I'm going to try and see if I can hum it. I can hum it in my head, but I can't. But the song is Maxine, okay? The title, so after watching this video, go on YouTube and enter Maxine by Chaka Damus. And it goes in parts. If I had to tell you, it's in a Caribbean slang, which is Part1. So if you hear the song, if it's not your kind of thing, it will be hard to hear it because it's in a native dialect. So perhaps you want to check the lyrics. And I was so old. In fact, I found out more recently that song is saying stuff that we should be a little more cautious about listening to. But when I was younger, this was a song I was happy to be listening and almost like bopping myself to. And now that I'm older, I'm like, oh, oops. Wow, that was really the song you shouldn't be listening to. So if you, if you finish watching this live, go and just enter on YouTube Maxine by, is it Chaka Damus? Is it Chaka Damus? Something like that, Maxine, okay? Okay, so for all of you, let's see. Oh, Isabella is laying down with the dog. Erica, you don't understand what a buffalo wing is. I'm not alone. Oh, lovely. Well, it's a chicken wing. It is. Okay. Let's be honest. Somebody explain to us how we got to the buffalo. What makes it buffalo? Is it that the sauce on it is buffalo sauce, hence the name buffalo wings? Or it's because the chicken wings is big like a buffalo? Why the name buffalo wings? Okay? Oh, okay. I'm not sure what kind of chickens are used. Okay, they can either be bigger or smaller depending on where you get them, but they are still buffalo wings. Lollipop. Maxine, been out here in the streets. Lollipop googling Maxine is like on my bingo card. Lollipop. Lollipop, come tell us what you find about Maxine, okay? I am not going to kind of die alone on this one, okay? I know, Caroline. And for those of you who still don't know about the Maxine song, I think the hook is Murder She Wrote. Murder She. I mean, when you're listening to the song, you don't think he's saying Murder She Wrote, okay? But the hook is Murder She Wrote. So Murder She Wrote, and it's the everyday life of Maxine, who is out here in the streets. And it's a wild song. Okay, Shell Round says, so we're talking buffalo wings. Lollipop, when you finish investigating the lyrics of Maxine, come back and tell us more, okay? And the subject matter we're discussing is buffalo wings and how we went from chicken to buffalo wings. Because actually, don't judge me, okay? I've heard buffalo wings, but I've never thought buffalo wings were actually buffalo in the wild. No, but I've just wondered, why are they buffalo wings? So I asked the question, and since the subject is happening, we want. Oh, so the origins of buffalo wings, are they from New York according to the chat? Lollipop, you found that it's a story, isn't it? Okay. Well, Shorty. So I had a buffalo hot dog. Some of these names though. How I know what a hot dog is, but why is it called a hot dog? Shell Round says it has something to do with the original bar making that. Okay. Right. So its origins is from the original New York bar. Lollipop. Lollipop, you are wrong for this nonsense. Okay, people, Lollipop is in the chat, and Lollipop is educating us about the lyrics of Maxine. Okay, I'ma just move on past, but if you want to see about Maxine, go check the lyrics when we're done. No, prawn cocktail. Stop. I can't sing, okay? But you know what? I can't sing. And then sadly, I don't drink. So you're not going to get me drunk and acting out on a karaoke either, okay? So cocktail, you might just have to do that for the group. Lollipop. Lollipop in the group. Lollipop in the group with the lyrics of Maxine and the murder she wrote is the best thing that happened to me today. Oh, Aisha, hello, welcome back. Erica. Izzy is very young. Happy birthday, Izzy. Is it your birthday today? Happy birthday, darling. I'm just catching up in the chat. The chat is popping off and it's just exciting. Okay? Oh, God. You people just bring so much. You guys just make my life so full. When I wake up in the morning. Oh, cocktail. Our version of British Bake Off. Bring it on. Hello. What are we doing? Are you going to make sure you organize all of that? If you do and get all the people, I'll be there judging. Because, of course, if I enter the chat, it's over, isn't it? But then cocktail, let's talk Discord. You were asking me the name, is it? I haven't looked at the entirety of the message, so you might as well ask me some of the questions here. So anyway, let's talk Discord. Those of you who are in the chat, we've just covered our cake. We came here for this cake, which is covered. We'll leave it to the side for now because it's going to be chilled. It's a cupcake. Now, people, let's talk about Discord. We are our good friend and moderator, Cocktail. It's Prawn Cocktail. Has created us a Discord to sort of help us build a community where we can engage better over there. So just letting you know, do we have a name for the Discord, Cocktail? You know what, Cocktail, you are my kind of person. Look at the ideas you are bringing to the team, honey. Well done. So Cocktail is suggesting we have a bake-off. Wow. I guess in that case, I will nominate myself as a judge. Can I? Because I can't enter. And then those of you who will put yourselves forward to be contestants, we can derive some prizes for you. How is that going to work? The whole thing is exciting, but I have never planned. Well, I have planned something, but not on a grand scale as a live thing. So how are we going to do this? Oh, okay. So Discord is a lot more fun, right? Cocktail. I might just enter the chat as Judge Sandra. Okay? And then you will know that it's going to be really harsh in there. So you better bring game on. Yep. Discord is where all the fun happens. So people, the handle is, what's the Discord handle? Or look, I have nothing to do with this. Cocktail is our friend over there who is handling all the chatter and the group activity over there. So you know what? In that case, is that an open Discord or it's a private Discord? Just asking. I'm just asking the most random questions because I don't know if is it an open Discord, because sometimes discourse groups are kind of close, so that it's almost like if you join because you want to be a part of the community. And it also helps with helping to manage the group better, so that it's not open for all, so that you can also manage. You will know that people who sign up on their own accord, and also share your value, so that it doesn't go left over there. Is that we need to send? Okay. Okay, so you know what? I will catch you off the live, and then we can sort of plan this properly, and even the name, because I would want the Discord to be connected to the channel, as in the name, more than the business website. So I'll catch you, and then we can kind of create it properly, and then in the future lives you can put the link up so that people who want to join can join on the Discord. Am I missing something in the chat? It's a community. Okay. A verification. Oh, okay. Okay. So it can be both. We can have public areas. Fantastic. You know what? I am not online. I don't know these things like that. Most importantly, just to safeguard my own peace and also resource. I live on YouTube. Once I'm done, I'm gone. Okay. A little bit of TikTok here and there, but I don't. But I'm grateful for the help, for you, to have you kind of like sort this private discourse up. I trust that it is going to represent our values here, so that we can continue to encourage like positive behaviors and connections that will enhance our own values and make us better people. Because I do know that like online groups and ecosystems can also get really toxic very quickly. And for me, if there's any concern, it is just to keep the group an extension of what we already have here, which is a safe space for connection, for learning, for value building, and also to stay friendly with each other. So yeah. No. Prawn? No, I don't have a Discord. I've never created one. So I'll be excited to know what I am required to do to be part of a Discord. But yes, so for those of you who are just joining us, we are in the process of establishing a Discord group for the channel, so that we can continue the fun and the chatter and the drama over there, so that it's more fun. Oh, Caroline, there is no specific criteria to be a moderator except consistency, because I rely on them. Yeah, Caroline, I'm answering your question. You don't need any specific criteria except trust and consistency. Trust is, if I allow the moderator privilege, it gives you a sort of accessibility so that you can moderate the chat, which is why people have blue highlights. But the other criteria is just consistency, because I rely on the moderators to ensure that when I'm available on the live, the chats are going. So if I'm not sure of attendance or presence, it's slightly problematic for me, but that doesn't disqualify a person. I can allow the moderator privilege too. So if you stay on and hang in there, you might get your moderator's tag also. So don't worry. Okay. No. Erica, that's fine. I know you haven't been here for a while, and you know what, you guys are kind of like have created your own like conversations and ecosystems, so I am completely fine with that. Not to worry at all. Yeah, as long as you guys can catch up with each other, it's not a problem. That said, before we go, let's touch on the subject of yesterday's cake. If you weren't here yesterday, you know what, and I kind of almost imagine all of you, including myself, that we're people who can actually go to a pub and sit at a table, have a drink, have a laugh about real life issues and go home. So I am... Oh, Caroline, you love to be in the background. Look, having a moderator privilege doesn't kind of drag you out. You can still maintain being in the background, but still be a little more engaged. So yeah, I will actually activate your moderator privilege for you whenever you come on. I already have the 3 who are like present all the time. I know you did say that you're not going to have a lot of time because of work commitment, but I will activate the moderator privilege nonetheless. So whenever you're available, you can kind of get in the chat with us. I hope that helps though. But that said, yesterday, if you were here yesterday, we did something a little bit unusual, which is that we went back to breaking baking rules. Now, if you don't know what the subject of breaking baking rules is like, go to some of our previous videos. We've started this series where in the baking class with Gladys, we break some baking rules. And yesterday, one of the rules we attempted to break was overcream our butter and sugar, which is to create air pockets or aeration for the butter, which will lead to a sort of leavening for our cake. It will assist or enable leavening for our cake, essentially. That's a simplistic way of doing it. And yesterday, I was fascinated by the result because I thought we were going to cream it to the point where the cake base, the butter and sugar, will end up giving up and with the air out and will affect the texture of our cake. Except it did the opposite. We had a lovely cake with great texture. We spoke about that yesterday. And if you were here yesterday, you would notice that we cut the cake open. The texture was great, and I wrapped the cake up, which I have kept here. And following from that, the texture is still soft, lovely, and light. The cake is still rich in flavor. But besides the fascinating result of finding out that whatever I did to break the rule didn't exactly break it, but ended up enhancing my results, I've been researching since, and I have found some interesting information about creaming. In that, creaming is not about time, but it is about observing for the transformation. So it's more observing the visual cues, and there is a way to observe it and see what the changes that occur in your creaming process. Creaming is also, to get the best out of your creaming, it's also enhanced by a few different factors. We discussed some of that yesterday, which is that the temperature of your workspace may affect the friction of the butter and sugar mixture. So that is something to consider. And then that might also apply to the amount of time you apply to creaming the sugar and the butter. Besides the temperature of your workspace, the temperature of the butter you're working with is also a determining factor to how well the creaming will be for you. So I think I could go into this, but I'm compiling some notes on the subject, so I can probably leave it as a podcast style video for you. But essentially, I'm back here to say, you know what, the simple answer to creaming your batter right is understanding and knowing what to observe for. It is not generally dependent on time. At least for cakes, it's not. For other recipes like cookies or other things, maybe, but not for cakes. Okay, so that is the surprising thing I found. Delaney, is Delaney back here? Delaney, did I see? Okay, right. I don't think Delaney is here. Is she? Sure, sure. Erica is asking, can I name more moderate? Of course I can do that. Come on. Yeah. When I'm done, I'll go and sort those out. You know what? Prawn Cocktail does work with me. She emails me and stuff, and Tapeta has to. I think it's more because there are people I interact with more outside of their lives. Is it a determining criteria for having the moderators? Not necessarily, but it helps to have consistency so that the people who moderate the channel are also able to keep things as organized as I would like it. So that is perhaps the criteria. But yes, I can name some more moderators if it matters. Okay. Is Delaney here? Yes. Oh, okay. I just saw Delaney's name. Yeah, Delaney has gone back to school, which is the issue. So remember, Delaney hasn't been here for a long time, and it's taking me a little while now because when I started the channel, I also had some moderators. My original moderator was actually Amanda. Amanda, who signed up to be the moderator, and I don't know what happened to Amanda. Sadly, she just went off. And unfortunately, I tried to email her. She's just, yeah, it's almost like she's not contactable, which ended up kind of making me a little bit cautious about who I can hand moderator privileges to. Because if you decide to not be on the channel anymore, because people do move on, what am I going to do with that? So whilst there's no exact criteria, the criteria is based on consistency of time and my contact with you, and communication as well, and also trust, but also knowing that you are always committed to being here as much as possible so that we can keep the group organized, because the moderators do actually enhance the quality of the group and the conversations that happen. Because when I'm kind of task focused and I can't welcome new people and they're leaving messages, or we have people who show up and they're so rude and they're spamming the group, I need someone to kind of handle that for me. So it's taking me a little while to get to assigning some moderators. But yeah, definitely, I'll make considerations for naming a few more. Okay. Izzy, are you okay? How old are you now, Izzy? Ah, Erica, I misread your message. I apologize. Okay. Yeah, there's sometimes the chats are moving so fast. Kind of, I'm so sorry. Okay. Izzy, I am so sorry about your 10, is it? Gosh. If did you say you're 10, Izzy? You're 10. Girl. Okay. Okay, Caroline, gotcha. Hmm. Right. I've got something sitting in my head, okay? Can you guys just, can I say it in a very safe way? And I want you guys to hear my heart. If you've been here a little longer, okay? If you've been here with me for a little while, you would know a little bit about me, my beliefs and values here. So I want us to get into this conversation a little bit and hear me. And Izzy, I am so sorry. This is about you, okay? But hear me when I say I am only asking the question here because all the women and all the people in this conversation that I talk to have families of their own and have children, and we are all so sorry for your loss, okay? If I can hug you right now, I will do that. But at 10 years old, I am wondering if you should be online in a YouTube space, because when you came in, I heard you wanted subscribers, and I was asking, what kind of channel do you have that you want subscribers, right? And I don't think, if you answered me, I haven't seen it, right? But now we know just a little snippet about you, and it's so painful and so traumatic. And I am wondering if I should entertain a 10-year-old on my platform, even with all the help and goodwill for you, when my value system would not allow my own child to be on any online outlet until even at the recommended age. First of all, you have to be of a certain age for YouTube to allow you on a certain platform, on the platform. So to be 10 and to act, if we didn't know, that would be different. But now that I know, I wonder if it's a safe thing to want to have you on the platform. And I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. I want to hug you right now, honey. Hear my heart when I say, but this is something that is so concerning for me, that a 10-year-old is, even if it's on my platform here, right? I would like to think I've created a safe space. And to a good extent, there are people I can trust out here. But you've just told us you're 10. And sadly, I can't protect you. So should I actually be welcoming to ignoring the fact that you're 10? Or to actually say, we love you, but we don't think this is okay for you to be here with us? This is what I just wanted to ask people. Hold my hand in this chat, because I really want to cry, because this is so deep for me, because she's so young and she's just lost her mom, okay? And I don't know if I am doing the right thing, but I'm holding a conversation. So hear my heart when I say that I cannot protect Izzy, okay? She's 10. What are we going to do about that? Yeah. Izzy, where is Izzy in the chat? Izzy, now that you've told us, here's some word for you. I cannot allow you on the group. I am so sorry. I want to hold your hands and I want to hug you. But now you've told me you're 10. I cannot allow you on the platform. Not because I don't want to, but now that you've told us, right, you are exposed in the chat. And now I'd like to thank everybody in the chat who is actually part of this conversation, from Erica to Caroline to Lollipop to Tharpiter, Prawn, and all the people I interact with outside of here. I can hold a level of trust that their instincts are to protect you and look after you. Unfortunately, there is an ecosystem outside of me and the other people I can trust to look after you. So because of that, Izzy, I'm going to say, Izzy, I am so sorry this is not the result, but I'm probably going to hit the block button and say goodbye. Just hear me when I say I'm not doing that because I'm discriminating against you, but it is because I have come to some information that is so important for your own protection. And for that, I cannot allow you to stay on the group. And I am so sorry. It is probably not going to make your day better, but overall, it is going to save you. And before I exit you out of the channel, I'm also going to say, please, please, please be careful on these online streets, okay? I guess we ask the question innocently, believing that everybody is safe, but you're a 10-year-old hanging out with adults. Luckily, I am so privileged to know that there's a lot of women here who just have instincts to protect you. But I cannot say that for every individual who is exposed to my channel, okay? So for that, I am just going to let you off this channel. I am so sorry, okay? I am really, really so sorry. Whew, that is really sad, isn't it? Okay. I just wish I could do something differently. I really, really wish. I really wish. And this is so heartbreaking, because if this was an outside world and I had a 10-year-old wander into a group of adults and said, oh, I lost my mom a couple of years ago, not too long ago, by the way, and I'm waiting for my dad, I will hold the 10-year-old hand and move her to the side and be like, what is going on with you right now? Unfortunately, I can't do that. But by even allowing her on the platform in the hope that I can sort of provide some sort of safety, is an illusion. It's a false illusion, because what all that does is still expose her to online risk that I cannot safeguard. And for that, my heart cannot allow her to stay on my platform. I do feel guilty. You know, do you realize I want to cry? Okay. I have said for me to cry on the platform, when something makes you want to cry, you don't sit and pick up your camera and say, I want to record myself crying. But this is so sad for me, because she's 10. And I don't think when she told us she was 10, she thought it would get her blocked from the channel. And it's a conflicting decision, but it's safer, because I do not want to be responsible for engaging a 10-year-old on the platform. If I didn't know, then I didn't know, because I am sure there are people on here who is younger, and as long as I know they're younger than 18, they could be 13, which is the recommended age for YouTube, right? But if I know and I don't do anything about it, then that's on me, okay? And whilst I trust that most of all of us here in this conversation want to protect this young girl, there's nothing we can do outside of the limits of what we have right now, that we are talking to each other over a screen. And if we tolerate her on here, after the end of this live, she's going to go on to different lives and all of that. And that is just going to create an exposure of risk for her that I am enabling by having her on my platform. I know, you know, when I was drinking the tea and I saw her post, my mom my mom passed, my mom passed. I stopped. And if you go back to the chat, you could see me like almost stuck for a minute. It was because I was trying to imagine what that looks like for this poor 10-year-old on this YouTube streets. God. Okay. I know she was in a safe space with us. I wish I could keep her, but I just couldn't, because she is below the recommended age for being on YouTube, okay? I think you have to be 13 to register on YouTube. I think I could be wrong. Someone correct me. But I wouldn't even allow my son. I have a son. He's not 10, but our value system at home, I don't think I will even be comfortable handing my 13-year-old a phone when he gets there. And that's a conversation we are constantly having in our home about what our son accesses. At this moment in time, he accesses YouTube and other things on my phone. He's constantly subscribing to random rubbish that I have to unsubscribe from. We have to track his activity on our phones as parents. So he's either watching his dad's phone or my phone, okay? And that's me as a parent. So when you're a parent, you have the sort of, because I'm not just a random channel, right? I am a random channel in the words of YouTube. I am random. I'm one of many thousands and even millions of channels here, but I'm not just any, because if I was just any random channel, you wouldn't be here. If I was here just doing anything, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but if I was just here, just being here for being sake, you wouldn't be here. Because I think anyone who is in this on this channel and has stuck with us has done that. Because you saw something deeper than just cake making over here, right? So I am not a different person from the channel. I have to treat this at work. So this is my workspace, but I'm not a different person too dissimilar from my work self over here. If anything, my work self aims to bring a more professional approach to what I'm doing, which is to talk about cakes in a way that teaches you something, keeps your attention, and gives you value. But my work self, being the person who is the face of this channel, has to show up here representing my own values over here. I've spoken to you about my belief system being a Christian, and whilst I don't come here to preach the Bible and shout the Bible at you, if you came to me with a problem, trust that the first thing we'll probably do is say a prayer before we even get into it, because I can't be your problem solver, but I know God is, and that's my belief system. So I am no different from the person I am in my home, okay? So if I see a 7-year-old in the street, am I just going to look at them and be like, okay, you are to yourself? Hell no. As a parent, you want to see if they are safe. Do they have an escort? Have they missed their way? And it's the same principle. So if I have a 10-year-old on my channel, if there is an outlet, say if I had recourse to a YouTube personnel where I could get in touch with and say, there's a 10-year-old in my channel, I am not sure where they're coming from, can we check if this child is safe? If I could do that, I would do that. But unfortunately, YouTube doesn't do that. And this poor girl is over here, perhaps grieving. Why did she have to tell us her mom has died? And the way she said it, she's literally screaming at us, hear me, my mom passed. And all this poor girl wants is a hug. And even if she's found a safe space here, if we make it a habit of accepting her, what we are saying is that it's going to be okay for you to go to other groups. But by so doing, we have failed completely to protect her, because we cannot then manage where she goes. I know that's not our responsibility, but we cannot turn a blind eye to the things that affect us in our world. Maybe her dad should be out here checking, but probably dad is caught up in his own grief. I don't want to assume things. I'm just saying my heart breaks for the decision I have to make, but it is for the good reason, and I'm just going to leave it as that. Oh, okay. I missed that. Thank you, Tapeta and Erica. Okay. Was someone out here saying something they shouldn't say? Oh, you know what? A fun moment actually got really real for me here. Thank you, guys. Is Izzy back here? No, I don't think she is, because I sent her off the channel. So I don't think she was here, because once I said, hear me when I say I'm gonna let you go, I actually sent her off the channel. Yeah, she's been timed out. Oh, did she? Does she have 2 channels then? You know what? I know I can't police this. I know I can't police, because all she can do is create a different channel and come back. And if she does and we don't know it's her, and we don't know she is 10, that's different. Okay? But if we know she's 10 and it is her, I'm going to send her back as well. If you want to block the number, just the person, just highlight their name, right? Just click on, so prawn, say if you click on say Erica, just click on Erica. You will see Erica will come out. It will say commented. It will give you the option of report and block. That's how you, yeah. Don't go blocking Erica, by the way. Erica end up nothing to you. Okay, Lollipop, all you have to do is say if you, who? Caroline. You're asking if it's real. So if you block button, so just click tap on the name, just put your like your own name. If you tap on the name, it will show you another. No, don't. No, Erica, we ain't trying to block you. I saw. Who is leaving? Yeah. Yeah. Lollipop is doing the school run. Well, Lollipop going for the school run is. You know what? This internet is wild. There are some really wild people out here in these streets, my lovelies. Okay, so look. I had a job before I made cakes, and there are things I know about how our world works, and it has informed the parent I am. You know, this thing about being on the internet for children makes my skin crawl. Okay, it does. It is so weird. But anyway, people, let's all breathe and hug each other, because you guys have helped me make this. Caroline, what do you mean? What do you mean, this is not real? Is it the Daniel guy, the random guy, or something? Am I missing something? Do you mean she's lying up? If she lied about her age, well, she got blocked. Goodbye. But if it is really true that she is 10, she would have still been sent off either way. So you know what? It could be anybody. It could be a 60-year-old man in a basement identifying as a 10-year-old. Okay? What I do know is that I do not care if it is true or not. Okay? If you're 10, you shouldn't be here. That's all. Go home. Go home and mind your business with mom and dad. This makes me sad, but yeah. Prawn. How did we go from the happy chit chat of cake making to the dreary conversation about internet? Okay, how did we get there? But anyway, Caroline, you'd be surprised what people do on the internet. Prawn cocktail, you are now striking me as a person who lives eternally on the internet. Okay. You see, people, you see why I said to you, when all of you with your good hearts, bless all of you, when you come here and you tell me, Auntie, why is your channel not big? This is why. Because there is a safety of at least knowing that to a very good extent, you have some control and connection with the people you interact with. But when you get bigger and you're one step removed from it, then you have your Daniels talking nonsense. That's why. Because there is a glaring danger to our presence on the internet that is really frightening. And we can't even pretend that it doesn't exist. You know what? Let's give Caroline some space to kind of, sometimes when you type black and white, as in when you type a message, what you're thinking is not what you're saying. So let's just give her some space to be sure of what I didn't understand it either. That is the distraction of the 10-year-old. It's okay. Caroline, are you okay? Never mind. Look, this is just an open space and safe to share your thoughts. I just wanted a bit of clarity, but if you don't feel comfortable sharing it, it's fine. Hopefully we should catch up another time. The subject just sounds a little bit heavy. You know, it does sound a little bit heavy, but people, let's be kind to each other. We may sometimes disagree, but unless we understand someone's like overall thoughts about a particular subject, let's all be kind with each other. Okay? Not to worry. Let's just let Caroline have a little break. But you know what? The decision was mine to make. See, I didn't make it the moderator's problem, or I didn't ask the moderators. I did it because whilst I have moderators to assist me, there are some decisions that are ultimately mine to make, and it was mine. When I spoke to you, I wasn't speaking to you about validation of my intention. I just wanted to bounce it off to you so that you can see where my heart posture is. But either way, I'm a mom. I have responsibility on this channel. I have a value system that doesn't tolerate certain actions, and those actions can sometimes have consequences attached, and the consequences can sometimes be unsavory. It's okay. Like I said, if I had another option to engage this young 10-year-old, supposing she is 10, would I have taken it? Yes. The option to kind of see her off the channel, was that the best option? For now, yes, because I just do not want her accessing my platform and thereby exposing herself to other internet like activity that will include mine, because just in case she is unsafe in certain spaces, I couldn't even justify having her on my channel, but then I can't offer her any protection. So the safest thing is to say, I'll hug you, explain my point, and see you, goodbye, and that's it, you know. So this is not on anybody, this is on me. And know that if you showed up and said the same thing like Daniel, or was 10-year-old or less than the recommended age, or was acting or representing yourself in a way that doesn't align with my value system, the block button is useful. For me, at least. All right. So let's just keep it all like respectful amongst each other. We won't always agree, but that's fine. Okay. But that said, I think we all need a cup of tea. Okay. We all need a cup of tea. Tapeta, Lollipop has to go for the school run. And actually, my school run is coming up very shortly. I have been here since 1 o'clock. And it's nearly 2. So people, Erica, be nice. Yeah. What time is it here again? It's nearly 10 to 3 p.m. I know it's in the morning for you people over there in the US, most of you. So whilst we're still here, people, a little reminder, we came here to make a cake. This one, this cupcake. Actually, I said this cupcake. Oh, okay. Look. Okay. Oh, okay. I am very excited about this now. But we haven't finished. We'll come back tomorrow and we'll get this done properly tomorrow. Okay, people? Right? So join me tomorrow at 1 p.m. Okay? And then I will catch up with those of you feral people who want to be on Discord. I say feral people, but yeah, a lovely time to be here with you. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow finishing this tutorial. So all of you, welcome back tomorrow, and I'll see you in my next video. All right. Oh, Mr. B.